The 100 Dresses by Eleanor Estes. Wanda Pentronsky was new to school. On her first day, she stood at the front of the classroom with her teacher. "Boys and girls," her teacher said, "this is Wanda how do you say it?" "Pentronsky," Wanda answered. "Pentronsky," her teacher repeated. "This is Wanda Pentronsky." Wanda looked out over her new class. Everyone just stared back at her blankly. "I know everyone will do their best to make her feel welcome," her teacher said. "Wanda, why don't you take that seat at the back of the class?" Wanda shuffled between the desks to the seat all the way at the back. The desk was broken and the chair a bit rickety, but Wanda put her stuff down on it anyways. That day at lunch, Wanda sat by herself. The two mean girls in class, Peggy and her best friend Maddie, went over to her table after they had finished eating.
"Nice dress," Peggy said. "I think my maid wears one just like it."
Behind her, Maddie snorted with laughter. "This is my favorite dress," Wanda said.
"I bet it's your only dress,"
Peggy said. "No," Wanda said. "I have dresses at home. I have 100 dresses, all lined up in a row." Peggy laughed and Maddie laughed right along with her.
100 dresses, Peggy said. "I'm so sure."
And the two walked away. This happened every day at lunch. After they'd finished eating, Peggy and Maddie would make their way over to Wanda.
"So, Wanda," Peggy said, "if you have 100 dresses, why do you always wear this same dress?"
"It's my favorite," Wanda said. "But I do. I have 100 dresses at home, all lined up in a row." The two girls would laugh, and then they would walk away. And this happened day in and day out. One day, when they got back from lunch, their teacher announced a dress designing competition. "All right, boys and girls, everyone's going to draw their best dress, and tomorrow I'll come in and we'll award a winner."
"I'm going to win," Peggy said. "My dad goes to France all the time, and everybody knows that the French are the most fashionable."
Everybody worked really hard on their dresses. Wanda sat quietly in the back, working on her own, while everyone else chattered away. At the end of the day, they piled their finished products on their teacher's desk. The next day, their teacher came in and hung all the drawings up on the chalkboard. In her hand, she held a yellow and blue ribbon. "All right, boys and girls," she said. "I'm going to put this ribbon on the winning picture, and whoever it is can come up here and take their medal." She turned around and put the ribbon on the chalkboard. All of the class ran up to the front to see who had won. "That's not mine," said one of the students.
"That's not mine either," said Maddie. "Well, it's certainly not mine," Peggy said, "though it is quite good."
And indeed it was. It was a beautiful drawing. "Well, who's out today?" their teacher asked. Maddie looked around. Wanda's out today," she said. "Well, it must be Wanda's," her teacher said.
"Well, if she's not here, how will she know that she's won?" Maddie asked.
"Who cares?" Peggy whispered. "Well, I suppose somebody will have to bring this by her house and let her know that she's our winner," the teacher said. No one in the class said anything. Maddie looked around and raised her hand and said,
"I'll do it."
So her teacher gave Maddie Wanda's winning drawing and her medal and her address and sent her over after school. When Maddie got to Wanda's house, it was dark and the door was falling off the hinges just a bit and one of the windows was cracked. Maddie made her way up to the door very carefully. She knocked.
"Hello? Hello, is anyone home?"
The door creaked open, and Maddie stuck her head inside. It was completely empty. Everything was gone. There was no couches or tables or chairs, nothing except some dust and some papers in a doorway. Maddie made her way across the squeaky floorboards to the papers, and bending down, she picked them up and looked at them. In her hands was drawing of dress after dress, each more beautiful than the last. Maddie's favorite was the one with the polka dots. Wanda hadn't been kidding. She really did have 100 dresses all lined up in a row. But she was gone. Her whole house was empty. All that was left were these drawings. Maddie shuffled the drawings into a pile in her hands, put the medal on top of them, and took them both with her as she left the house. As she walked away down the street, she paused and looked back at the house one more time, empty and dark. And she promised herself that never again would she stand by while someone else was mean to somebody. The end.